Nature has small pockets of beauty that have been able to survive the harsh effects of modernization. One of these pockets is situated within the Allegheny Mountain Range in West Virginia, Monongahela National Forest. This forest is located within a temperate deciduous biome, which is also referred to as a deciduous forest. These forests are always changing and experience 4 distinct seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. Summers experience hot weathers and winters cold weather. Another key factor is that the leaves in the forest change colors and fall. This forest is known for its rugged terrain with very scenic areas. It starts at 900 feet above sea level at its lowest point, and its highest point is 4,861 feet at its tallest peak, Spruce Knob, the highest peak in West Virginia. It has varying terrain from meadows and plains to rocky mountains and waterways. This forest experiences the 4 main seasons and averages temperatures from 32 degrees Fahrenheit to around 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Sometimes there is snow, but most of the time the precipitation that the forest receives is in the form of rain. The western half of Monongahela National Forest have received as much as 60 inches of rainfall, while the eastern half has only received as much as 30 inches.
There are about 20 main organisms in this ecosystem. Some of the most important ones include the American black bear. This animal is one of the top predators in this ecosystem. The black bear is the most common bear in North America, and it appears in 41 out of the 50 states. Black bears spend most of their time in solitude, except when they breed, or when females are with cubs. Another exception is when they are concentrated amounts of food in an area. Black bears have cubs during January or February, and they emerge from the den in April. Females can birth 1 to 5 cubs at a time, but 2 cubs is the most common. These cubs stay with their mothers for 1.5 years before going off on their own. Their lifespan ranges up to 30 years in the wild. They have a mixed diet of plants and animals. Another organism who sits at the top of the food chain is the bobcat. The bobcat can lead as far as 12 feet to catch different types of prey and has been known to take down prey that are much larger than it. This feline is only about twice the size of a normal house cat, but it could run up to 30 miles. It is also skilled at swimming. These animals are nocturnal and have eyes that help them see in the dark. They are also terrestrial, unlike the bears, who have been able to cooperate in areas with a lot of food. Their average lifespan is 10 to 12 years. They are carnivore and prey on different rodents, fox, and deer. Another predator is the fox. Foxes are omnivores that live in most parts of the world. Foxes are the size of medium dogs and weigh up between 1.5 to 24 pounds. Unlike the other 2 predators, foxes are sociable creatures that prefer to stick together in leashes, skulls or earth, which all are different names for a pack. Foxes are mostly nocturnal. The only exception is when the pack is familiar and feels safe with the area they are in. Foxes can birth to 2 to 7 pups in a litter. Foxes have a typical lifespan of 3 years in the wild and 10 to 12 years in captivity. Other species in this forest include the flying squirrel. Unlike their name suggests, flying squirrels do not actually fly. Rather, they glide. These animals can glide up to 53 meters, leaping from a treetop to land on a tree trunk. They live high in the trees where they build nests. They also store large amounts of nuts and acorns in these trees on the ground. They are 12 to 25.5 centimeters long and 45 and 100 grams in weight.
The Virginia opossum is a primary consumer in the Monongahela National Forest. The Virginia opossum, also known as the common opossum, is the only pouched mammal or marsupial in the US and Canada. When a female gives birth and the babies crawl into the mother's pouch, a female births as many as 20 babies, but only fewer than half of them survive. After they move in and out of the pouch and ride on their mother's back, opossums are scavengers, much like raccoons, and some bears are omnivores. What they are most famous for is playing opossum. When they are threatened, they pretend to be dead to put their predators off guard so they give a chance to escape. One of the primary producers of the ecosystem is the red elderberry. They are around 8 to 20 feet tall and is part of the honeycomb family. Their fruit are used to make jam, jelly, syrup, pie, and wine. Their leaves and flowers can be used to make tea, and the flowers are edible. In history, this plant was important to the Native Americans because of its diverse use. Similarly, the plant is one of the most important to this ecosystem. This ecosystem has 5 primary producers, which are American beech, blackberry tree, moss, catawba, rhododendron, and the red elderberry. There is also the round-leaved sundew, which is a producer yet also a consumer. It is like the Venus flytrap, where the plant is a carnivore. The next layer of the ecosystem are very different and not straightforward. One of the first levels it includes the woodchuck, American robin, Virginia opossum, southern flying squirrel, white-tailed deer, raccoon, cydia, and eastern cottontail rabbit. These organisms are a mixture of primary and secondary consumers. The second level consumers are the fox, skunk, and turkey. There are a mixture of secondary and tertiary consumers. The last level consists of the bobcat and the bear, who are the predators of this ecosystem with nothing that eats them. This is one of the detritivores in the ecosystem, and it is the earthworm, which is basically a decomposer because it eats that matter. But it doesn't reduce it into the most natural state. This is what the decomposers are for, and the natural decomposer of the ecosystem is bacteria. Its abiotic factor includes the temperature, which is as mentioned previously, is 32 Fahrenheit to around 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Another abiotic factor is water. The Monongahela National Forest has the Monongahela River that flows through, providing water to all the plants. This forest has a nutritious soils that have a deep layer of organic material in it. Lastly, sunlight is an abiotic factor, and the forest gets plenty of sunlight to support all its plants.
Monongahela National Forest's ecosystem provides a lot of services for the people in the area. This national forest provides services such as coal mining and natural gas wells. Its most important services is providing wood for building and to provide energy. The forest is mainly spruce wood with hemlock, white oak, black cherry, oak, and poplar. These trees were heavily harvested in the late 1800s and early 1900s. In the 1880s, forests in the Allegheny Mountains area and all over the country were heavily logged for wood. This caused many problems for the forest, which then reflected on the cities in the area. The lack of plants meant that the soil was not able to hold together. This loose soil washed into the river and polluted it with mud and silt. In this area, particular 2 forest fires caused more silt to wash into the rivers. This made the water useless for drinking or washing and affected the populations around the area because Monongahela River was one of the larger rivers. When the forest was established in 1905 to the U.S. Forest Services, the new question became, how should logging be conducted within the forest?